Good evening. Welcome back to Kingsport. This is episode 3 of 4. There's been a lot of strange things. I came in perfectly prepared to run a nice little Call of Cthulhu game in Monster Hearts, which again was probably not such a great idea. And then we decide we're going to do Time Watch, and I don't know. We're just going to have to figure all this out. There's a lot going on. Yeah, we'll try and figure out what the time travel is in this game, whether or not it's primer time travel or if it's something that doesn't require a PhD to understand. My name is Kat. This was my idea years ago, and it seems to continually work out. So all credit to that, though, really goes to my phenomenal cast. So I'm going to introduce them. First up, let us introduce Leandro, the foremost purveyor of sad girls in the Kingsport Drama Society, and who now apparently is playing two versions of the same character, Agnes Murphy, who is our witch. Witches.
Yeah, so this is, oh God, how to even explain this? Well, from the top, Agnes Murphy is the witch. She became the witch by reading up on all sorts of weird, magical, supernatural nonsense that she always knew was around Kingsport, but didn't really know until she looked into her stuffy, fuddy-duddy mom's old journals and found out she was doing witchcraft when she was young. So Agnes took that basically as like, okay, I'm gonna learn as much as I can because I did not like having to grow up with a stuffy parents who didn't let me do what I wanted. So I'm gonna do what I wanted. And apparently that involves messing with a time globe whilst in one's darkest self, going back in time, accosting myself, and now is led to the situation where there's now two of me running in this timeline. I'm in my darkest self, or at least Agnes, one of them, original Agnes, the one we followed from the start, is in her darkest self. And now we have new timeline Agnes Murphy Prime, who was accosted before she got home and all the bad stuff happened, basically. Right now, they're kind of colluding in cahoots, maybe, kind of, sort of. Darkest self Agnes thinks they can work together to do stuff. They want to steal a book, apparently. They barely helped out the other two in their not Call of Cthulhu investigators intrigue. We'll see what happens. There's two of them now. This is ridiculous.
We also love Leandro for his succinct introductions. Thank you, Leandro. We all have our own foibles. And I introduce next someone I'm always happy to play with at the table. The one person who has maybe GM'd for me more than I have GM'd for anyone else. So please, let's welcome Lisa, who's playing Vrijeme Stani, our Cerberus.
Hi, Lisa Paddle, she, her pronouns. Vrijeme is just doing what Phoebe wants because we need to keep these nasty intruders or investigators away. I'm sure nothing can go wrong with that. As long as the equation balances in the end, right?
You know, I've got to admit, Lisa, this is only the beginning of your third Kingsport session, and you're already realizing that everything is going to be all right is an utter lie. But it's good that you picked up on the lingo. And finally, please let's welcome Daryl, who is the heart and beating dramatic soul of the Kingsport Drama Society, who is playing the completely staid and somewhat nice for Greenwood. I mean, it's a low bar. Phoebe Greenwood, our Serpentine.
I will have you know, I am the nicest person in my family altogether. Hello. I'm Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Phoebe Greenwood, whose pronouns are she, her. Phoebe is the Serpentine, and it comes from a long line of Greenwoods, hence the lineage thing that we've got going on. They are basically like a golden, glorious flapper, or at least that's what they pretend to be, and she's currently in a predicament where originally she didn't really want to follow along with her family's orders, but her family consistently continues to like disrespect and like undervalue her contributions and like basically think she's kind of a waste of space, except for, hopefully marrying her off to the right guy to bring back some of our political clout. And Phoebe has not taken that very well. So what did we do? We galloped off to Dunwich to investigate things, which, it turns out we have some relatives that we definitely never speak of in Dunwich, and that's definitely going to work out perfectly fine. I'm sure that nothing will go wrong, and it will be a wonderful, happy family reunion, and everyone will have a great time.
Nah, you're not getting it from me. It's probably not going to go well. This may be the first time that we actually really well and truly get into Dunwich, because we keep talking about it and then something happens. People have gotten as close as a general store just outside Dunwich, and there Alice managed to get as far as a hill with weird standing stones, and was given the hospitality of a rather cracked old sorcerer. So where shall we begin? There's so many places to start. I mean, we've got a couple Agneses. We've got Phoebe and Vrijeme were on the road, right? Okay. So, Landra, I'd like you to pick an Agnes and tell me what they're doing.
Okay. Let's see, how did we divvy up? They divvied up some responsibilities, but it's been a while. It's been a week, which in 2020 terms is a year. So I forget. They made plans. One of them was to bug Phoebe and Vrijeme, so they're not going to get anything done anytime soon. I think that was Agnes Prime who was told to do that. So original Agnes, darkest self Agnes. I think who. What are they up to? See, this is where my memory fails me, because they did plan something. I know this. They're planning to steal a book. That's the main thing. I'm actually, hold on, let me take a sip of coffee. I'm actually a bit of a loss as to what they're up to. I mean, because we haven't seen Phoebe and Vrijeme for a while, so if it's okay.
Sure. I was just trying to figure out where your Agne are.
Okay.
I don't remember. I actually don't know what declension that is.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Oh yeah, the signing is tonight. Yeah, that is happening. I'll maybe give you some ideas, but
I mean, interesting question. If, say, Agnes Prime signs, does that mean Agnes didn't sign, or did she sign for both of you? Or this is why temporal paradoxes are dangerous.
It's dangerous. Maybe we should go somewhere more simple while I try to untangle this.
Okay. So Vrijeme and Phoebe, and you were taking a horse and buggy, you said?
Yes, I couldn't justify taking the car, even though I really wanted to.
To Dunwich Town, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you were told that there's a general store there, and that was the place to ask questions.
Yes, and indeed that is where we were searching for.
Did I give that thing a name last week?
I think it was just the general store.
Okay. It's New England directions. Just when you get there, ask. So, getting to Dunwich always seems to take longer than anybody would think it would. first, it's very easy to miss the turnoff. And then even when you're on the turnoff, it's a very windy road and goes up hills and down hills, and everything looks kind of run down in that area. But eventually you pull into Dunwich proper, which is not apparently a whole lot. There's, a bunch of dilapidated looking old Victorian houses along the street. And there is indeed a little one-story building that just has a sign outside, Dunwich General Store. And under it, S. Moore Prop.
Now, Vrijeme, we are going to act as if we are simply here to browse their sundry goods, and then we will quietly ask about where we might find the house.
The house.
Yes, the house where our classmate died, the house where the investigators are looking for.
But we look at the goods first.
Yes, it's very important to make them think we might buy something.
Ah. Might buy.
Yes.
That's
Just follow my lead.
subjunctive?
It is, I don't quite know what you mean there.
The verb tense.
I wasn't paying attention in class yesterday.
I believe it was an imperative.
And she looks at you and just says, really, just follow my lead. Pick something up, turn it around, and put it back down. And just,
Vrijeme will pick something up, turn it through the 17th dimension, and put it back down and go on his way.
Okay, so the store is about what you would expect for a backwoods New England dry goods store. I mean, there's plenty of staples. There's some small amount of fresh harvest produce in bins. There's a little box where you can buy some what the heck is that? Moxie and other New England type drinks. And behind the counter, by this old-fashioned cash register, is a young woman with big round spectacles and unruly curly hair, and she's just sitting there reading a book as you guys come in. Basically, doesn't take any notice.
Grab a couple of apples from the produce section, and maybe I'm sure that there's like a magazine about like actors or something, that like a gossip rag that I can snatch up, and I go over to the counter and like try to like case the joint and see if there's anyone else there or anything that looks suspicious or anything like that. I think I read that in a detective story once.
Early subscriber to Black Mask. Okay, so the girl just kind of slowly looks up and like, be it I might be able to help you.
I believe so, yes. I would like to purchase these and then also ask for directions.
Directions. Tis fain that you're in the midst of Dunwich town, and the road but goes two directions, in and out. So if thou going through, then you are on the right road. Other directions, I'd need to be.
There's a house.
There are many houses in Dunwich Township.
What my cousin means to say is we are looking for a particular house where a friend of ours had visited previously.
Well, now, we don't have much call for coastal types like yin to come bats to Dunwich Town. So, forgive me for being disbelieving of your tale, but
But someone is here then. In that house.
many of the houses of Dunwich Town are inhabited, yes.
what my friend means to say, what my cousin means to say is, we are looking for a house where someone died recently. It's ghoulish, I know, but we just,
Aye,
we're,
'tis their business if they died in their house. It's thine and theirs. And who are thee to come up here? Even though that does have a look about thee. You favor the Greenwoods.
well, funny you should mention that. I happen to be a distant relation of the Dunwich Greenwoods, and I was hoping that you might point me to their house if you are fain not to guide us to the property we seek.
We ain't much have truck for the coastal Greenwoods. Well, when Franklin inherited the land from his cousin, and then sold most of it so he could build that railroad to nowhere. Where'd it run to? Kingsport along Cape Ann? There's nothing there. Not for humans.
Well, yes. Be that as it may, those are the squabbles of our distant ancestors at this point. I mean, it's a new day and a new age and new and exciting times, and I think that it's time that I mended the bridges between the coastal Greenwoods and the inland Greenwoods.
Toward 50 years yet that Franklin sold all that land. And you think you'll find young Missy Greenwood here in Dunny? 50 years. 'Tis not a
It's
long
like now.
time.
I mean,
It's like
50
now.
years is at least twice my age.
It's like now.
Vrijeme, you're not helping. It was a long, long time ago. I'm going to lean in and give a blink. Like, I'm going to bat my eyes at her, and they're going to go all golden.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just not getting anywhere. Give me what I want.
Strangely enough, the famously suspicious inhabitants of Dunwich Town are strangely suspicious.
Well, that's fine. I'm convincing in my own way with my 14.
That's a boxcar. Okay. Mesmerizing. They freeze up till you blink. Don't remember anything. Yeah. She's just sort of staring glassily now.
And I lean in and I say, first of all, tell us where the house where the boy died is.
That means that that coastal boy.
Yes, that's the ones that we generally care about.
That is correct. You only care about your typical Greenwood. Thou hast forgot thy roots.
I asked for an answer, not a commentary.
'Tis a house of me and mine, of ancient betide.
And whereabouts is this house of yours and thine?
Up the dell. But
don't-
I'd advise thee, Missy, not to go up that way. For you'll have to pass old Noah Watley's place. That is a place of confusion, suspicion, shadow, and doubt.
I completely wave that aside and say, and tell me where I might find the Greenwood house.
Greenwood house. Well, do you mean the house where the Greenwoods live or the house that the Greenwoods built?
Are they two different houses?
Aye, they did.
Where's the house that they live?
That be up past the hill and in the holler.
And where's the house they built?
Why, that be on the way to the dell, for some of the land that Franklin Greenwood sold was bought by Noah Watley.
Once again, that name means nothing to me. And I say, the last thing I say is, I tendered you coin for these small items and wished you well, and you think rather well of me.
Aye, and that I will not speak of this encounter. In that way I think well of you, and that I think hardly of thee at all.
I asked for comment. I did not ask for commentary. At that point, I scowl a little. I sweep up my faux purchases and blink. And when I don't even blink, to release her, I turn away and then break the gaze.
My dear Phoebe, are you telling me that you're surprised that the people of Dunnytown have some resistance against the evil eye?
I am used to being listened to.
And there's the Greenwood.
I'm like, Vrijeme, we must go.
Go to which house?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. So can we check in on an Agnes now?
Yeah, I know what Agnes Prime is doing. Instead of turning to the house where she was meant to go before she was accosted by some ridiculous Agnes from the future, instead of going to the house, she is going to go into town. She is looking for a Miss Chloe Bonton.
Well, she said she was staying at the best hotel in town, the one that she called a horrible dump.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to start. And this is Agnes walking into this horrible dump, still with the apron, because she was getting off of work when herself was accosted by herself. But yeah, she's here, walking into this hotel, just trying to see if
you see Chloe downstairs. She's sitting at what used to be the bar. And she's ordered a Bloody Mary, and she looks at the bartender and say, "You put the fruit juice in here, wink, wink, right?" He's like, "No, that doesn't go with a Bloody Mary," and walks away. So when you walk up to her, she sips and goes, "Virgin."
Yeah, you get all sorts here in Kingsport.
Well, yeah, speaking of virgins, here you are. How are you doing there, Agnes? Did you enjoy your run last night?
It was lovely. It was eye-opening. You're more than just some ditzy fly-in from the big city, aren't you?
I mean, that's been well established by this point, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm mad, bad, and dangerous to know. I mean, for all you know, I could have a derringer tucked into my stocking.
Do you? Or are you just...
I mean, a girl, it's not right for a girl to kiss and tell, so if it becomes necessary for you to know, you'll know very quickly.
Well, I'm just saying, I was up front with you, and how
was that? Were you really?
I said I wanted to show you something unique, and what did I show you?
That's true. You're clearly in league with the what the professor calls the alien forces from beyond our understanding of the universe. So that's a thing. Why are you here, Agnes? Did you bring any? Do you have any vodka on you? Because this is just sad. The only way to cure a hangover is to start on the next one, and this is just sad.
Speaking of sad, no, I don't have any vodka. I'm just there's a complication in my life right now. When you say that your worst enemy is yourself.
I mean, people say that, but I always seem to be my best ally. I mean, I like myself. I get along famously with me. It's the other people that are the problem.
You don't have the chance to actually do that until you actually get to hang out with yourself, as in literally hang out with yourself.
Uh, nope, sorry. It's just bashing into the wall of my hangover and bouncing right off.
Okay. It's the professor around. I think he'd understand what I need to say. No, I'm not. Your frisky friend with the gun can search me or point it at me. I'm not here to do anything. Just here to give info and maybe solicit some help or two.
Yeah, well, the Prof and Finn, apparently they went to some old church. They want to see their records if they'll let them. It's a crazy church I never heard of before.
Right. That church. God. Okay. Well, if you see me again, Chloe, ask if I've ever had a mimosa. And if I say no, then don't trust whatever that one says. Whatever the hell she says.
How'd you get that scratch on your face?
Remember what I said about yourself being your worst enemy?
You're not making any more sense. You keep repeating these things and they just...
I'm sorry if I like being coy and mysterious. And apparently you need to have everything spelled out like a coloring book.
Hey now, that's not nice. I didn't get kicked out of Miskatonic because I couldn't do the work.
Okay. I know. I apologize. No, it's.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We dames got to stick together, right? It's a cold hard world out there.
I know, but when another dame, specifically yourself, specifically myself, it's complicated. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, Chloe. Okay. Come here. There's another me running around. There's another without the scratch. That's how you know it's not me. For one thing, she doesn't have a scratch, and she'll be weirded out when you ask her about mimosas.
And how exactly did this become possible?
I have no fucking clue. I was just walking home, and then she barrels out of an alleyway, and we get into a fist fight because, I know well enough to, when I see a temporal anomaly, and she overpowered me, and now she's on some cockamamie scheme to. She's loose. She thinks she can do whatever the hell she wants. She doesn't. I don't know what the hell happened. What happens in the future? But apparently something happens where I come back all full of piss and vinegar and ready to screw up whatever.
Okay.
I'm glad you understand.
No, I mean, I don't really understand, but I mean, I think I get the situation. It's on the list of weirdest things I've ever seen, but not necessarily top 10. Maybe top 10, but not top 5. Yeah, maybe top 5.
I'm glad to know I ranked that high, but okay, don't screw it. I'll ask what your number one is once this is all fucking done. You say they're at the church? At this old church?
Yeah, the Genite church.
Yeah.
Professor says it used to be called something else. Esoteric something or the other.
Of course. Okay, I'm gonna go find them before other me finds them. Just watch out. Sorry that well, no. First meeting was grand. It was the business of the beach, I wasn't trying to do anything more than just get out of here, you know?
Well, I mean, I can sympathize with that. Wanting to get out of a town like this makes sense to me. So if I was you, maybe, yeah. I mean, if we thought we could trust you further than we could throw you, yeah, someone like you might be actually useful to us if we thought we were all on the same side. But I mean,
Yeah, kind of
you're a
scotched that,
witch.
didn't I?
It's hard for us to trust you.
Well, to be fair, that's not my problem to sort out. That's your problem.
If you want us to trust you, you kind of got to meet us somewhere in the middle. Otherwise,
Was I the one waving a gun around and talking about the thin line between this and that?
it is a thin line between this and that.
Right.
You got to know which side of this you're on. Are you on this side or are you on that side? And that's important to know.
I guess that's where we differ. To me, that line isn't a line; it's a suggestion. I think that's when Agnes stands up, because apparently she sat down at some point. I didn't know your friend's dead friend, but sorry for his loss, I guess. Hope you figure something out.
Yeah, first thing I got to figure out is how to get some booze.
Who's the NPC who?
Tommy.
Yeah.
It was Tommy Wood. His parents,
So-
his family are tailors.
Might want to hang around the tailors, look for a boy named Tommy Wood. He'll tell him Greenwood sent you.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. I could use the tip. That's very good.
Nice seeing you, Chloe. And Agnes sort of still tense and stressed. We'll walk and try to find go to the church, find the professor.
Okay. So, I guess back in Dunnytown. So where are you going, Miss
Well,
Phoebe?
if Phoebe has no idea, I'll just follow the temporal blips.
Temporal blips?
There must be some, right?
Please gaze into the abyss to try to figure that out,
That-
and then let that just point our way. That's how I want this decision to be made.
So which of us is gazing?
that would be you, oh temporal
Okay.
blip.
I rolled an 11. I'm pretty sure my dark is positive.
It is indeed positive. It's double plus good. So, a
Oh, okay.
13. And you can, you'll take +1 on this. Okay. There's definitely a locus of extremely weird temporal energy up towards the Dell.
Well, that's the way we must go now.
Is that all we get from that though? Just lots of energy coming that way?
What more do we need?
I mean, you
She got
only
what she
seem to
asked-
ask
he got what he
me,
asked for.
yeah, where to go.
Yeah.
If you want, yeah, I mean, you did roll a 13. If you would like to refine that question a little bit, I'm happy to tell you.
Let
I'll
me
put it
take-
to you this way: it's localized and it moves sometimes.
Well, tell me a secret about this moving blip.
Is that one of your things?
Yeah, let's dig deeper. I mean, that's the obvious way to push for more.
It's invisible.
It's dangerous.
So what you're telling me is that we should go towards the Dell because it's dangerous?
I should go towards the Dell because it shouldn't be doing that.
I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to go check out the house.
Unless the two are in the same direction, that makes perfect sense to Vrijeme.
We will have to part ways at some point, but we will go up the road together.
Okay. Yeah, so there is a path towards the outskirts of the little bit of Dunwich that you can see. There's the road splits, and one goes down into a dell, and the other goes up, and then you think it goes down something else, and then there's a hill beyond that. So,
Well, I go towards the invisible danger.
okay,
I go the way that he does not go.
that's a good plan. So, Phoebe, you walk for a while, and then the road crests a little ridge, and then it starts dipping down into a little hollow. And as you walk along, now the horizon gets hemmed in by all the thick trees, and the sun is hidden by clouds most of the way anyway. But as you're walking along the road, you can hear the dull thwack, thwack, thwack of somebody chopping wood.
There's a part of me that is intimidated by that sound, but I've come here for a reason, and I will walk my way quietly, but not surreptitiously, around the house the other direction.
Well, you're not even inside of the house. You just hear this guy, somebody's chopping wood nearby.
Actually, so I'm going to keep my cool, because the first thing I want to do is I do not want to announce my presence until I have a better lay of the land. I did pay attention in history class, and I know it is a good thing to have the lay of the land as an advantage. So let's see. I have a +1 cold. That's an 11.
Okay, you may ask me a question.
Okay. I would like to know, let's see. I would like to know the best way in to avoid detection.
You would have to leave the road and go through the forest.
I think back to the stories that Father used to tell me about our great-great-great-grandmother who walked the woods and found power there. So I also dart off the woods, and there's a part of me that thinks that she might be walking with me.
Awesome. So you're going out into the Nathaniel Hawthorne National Forest, huh?
Yes, that is what I do.
Okie dokie. So you walk for a while through the woods, and then you hit a path, which is probably good. And following that for a little while, you come upon an old well. Yeah, it's this little stone well set into the ground with a kind of dilapidated-looking little roof over it. And that's when you hear someone coming down the trail, up from the hill.
This seems like a good opportunity. I just want to make a lot of rolls. So I think I'm going to gaze into the abyss and try to assess why I was led to this well, because obviously I trusted in my ancestors and they led me here. Yeah. Just going to lean into that one. Okay. And that is still an 8. I really just want the XP, but here we are.
Okay. So the sound of feet walking down the path stops, and you think that everything you don't know what to do, whether to move or not, and someone puts a hand on your shoulder from behind you.
Of course, I turn quickly to stare at whoever might have laid a hand on me.
This seems rather incongruous, but it is a incredibly gorgeous woman with long, lustrous black hair, deeply tanned skin, wearing a black riding habit and holding a cigarette in a long holder. Thirsty?
Yes, positively parched.
A Greenwood of Kingsport town. My.
How did you know who I was?
The family resemblance, darling. It's all over your face.
She touches her face, but drops her hands and say, "Well, yes, I seem to have wandered my way here. I'm looking into something."
What are you looking into, child?
Well, you see, I lost a dear friend, and it's been gnawing away at me, and I really must know what happened.
Oh, bravo! Bravo! I haven't had a Greenwood lie to my face in ever so long.
Well, if you know so much, then why do I even need to say anything?
Yes, I'm curious to hear what you have to say. You'll discover, my dear, that in human matters, it's very often how a thing is said is far more important than the puny amount of information content.
Human matters.
I mean, to be honest, children, you're barely keeping ahead of entropy in your single noise ratio. It's such a chore. But be that as it may.
Oh, you talk like my father.
Oh, how is dear Philip?
You know my father.
Oh, very well. He was the first Greenwood to come back to me in a couple of generations. I always wanted to know that boy Finch. One that got away.
You know a lot about my family. Who exactly are you?
Who would you like me to be? I go by many names.
Something short and sweet and easy to remember.
Most of them are polysyllabic. Bloody tongue's not really appropriate. You're not that audience. Just fine. No. You know what? I'm going to revive the tradition. You may call me the Dark Lady of the Woods. There you go. It's been a while, but now that society is all modern and you can wear your hair short and your dress is shorter, it seems only natural that I no longer have to deal with all that tiresome patriarchy.
Still a mouthful, but I guess it will do. So, Dark Lady of the Woods, if you already know why I'm here and you already know what I want to know, why don't you just tell me what I want to know?
Because, my dear little child, you don't know what you want to know yet, do you? You're wandering around in these woods, looking for the house where that dear boy died. I mean, I didn't know him, but, everybody says he was nice, whatever. I can't tell you guys apart half the time. But instead of walking in the direction that you were specifically told was the house where he died, you were walking up to see the house where your family lives, whom you have never seen or talked to. So, you don't know what's in your heart, Phoebe Greenwood. And that's all right. Knowledge is a thing that I purvey. In my own way, what I sell is shortcuts. But shortcuts have a price. And of course, they do presume knowledge of how to use them. I mean, it's very much caveat emptor.
Well, now you're starting to sound like Agnes.
Yes, Agnes.
Oh, I shouldn't be surprised you know her too.
Oh, I had the occasion to meet her just the other day. But, right now I think she's just beside herself with how things have turned out.
Well, I don't want to talk about Agnes. I don't want to even talk about this boy, who was not very nice, by the way. Everyone says he was so nice, and everyone took such a shine to him, but he didn't seem very nice to me. Anyway, I suppose what I want to know is how to get out of whatever sticky situation our little town has found itself in, and also stick it to my parents so that they will finally take me seriously.
Sticky situation the town has found itself in. My dear, you're talking about Kingsport. There's at least 5 world-ending potential plots going on at any point in that little burg.
I only care about one right now.
Oh, good. Which one?
The one where a bunch of strangers came in and are asking a lot of questions about the town and, like, visiting my family and, like...
Yes. Pesky little human investigators. So, yeah. It's all part of the game, I guess. Well, interesting. I thought you would have been about the alien insects that are being summoned. Well, never mind. If that's the one you want to go with. No, you said which one? Well, I mean, humans are easy to deal with. Why not just kill them?
You can't just kill someone.
I mean, you certainly can. I mean, especially today, there are Thompson guns. It's easier than it's ever been.
But what if I don't want to kill them? What if I just want to make them go away? Mommy would never look at me again if I killed someone.
Whatever happened to your family? You guys used to be amazing.
What do you know about aside from apparently everything, what do you know about my family? You said you didn't even know Great Uncle Finch. You didn't know...
Phoebe Greenwood. Fortune, your ancestor, dedicated her life to me before she betrayed me. It was for something love, something the other thing. And yet I, too, still continue to traffic with your family. That's respect, girl. I'll have it noted on the record.
She can't help but glow a little at that. Because there's something about her that wants to be respected by you, even though she can't make head or tails of you. And she leans in, she takes a step forward, like rather brazenly, and says, well, I would very much like to put to bed any other such assumptions that the Greenwoods are not to be respected.
They've been jokes, you know.
I know.
You are not the first Phoebe Greenwood I've ever met.
Yes, I know. I pale in comparison. I don't live up to the namesake.
Oh no, she was dreadful. Just a little hedge witch, selling her little healing potions. I still remember what I said to her when I saw her last. My Phoebe Greenwood, strike me dead. But, of course, I was being somewhat poetical about the target of that.
She gets the feeling that there's so much more to what you've just said than she'll ever even know, but says, I don't want to talk about other Phoebes. I want to talk about me. Okay, fine. I admit it. I want my family to respect me, and I want my family to look up to me, and I want to make them see me as someone who can and will handle things.
I mean, you could have all that, just by normal human means, you could just be the best Greenwood you know how to be. In time, you'll grow old and cruel like your mother, henpeck some poor Baxter or something to death. But you Greenwoods, there's one thing that's true about all of you. You don't have any patience whatsoever. It's delightful.
If you're going to keep belittling me, then I might as well just go.
If you were to go, you would have my leave to go first. And that leave is not yet granted. Phoebe Greenwood of the Kingsport.
I'm going to run away.
Oh, are you?
Is
the move only fires if the conditions allow for it. So you turn and bounce straight into something that's not there. Phoebe Greenwood, you said you want the respect of your family. Think very carefully about what family means to you. Do you mean Cordelia and Philip? Or do you mean your family?
I want all of them to respect me.
Well, why didn't you say so? And she hands you a white rose that wasn't there before, and says, "Just walk up this path, and show that to anyone you meet."
And what is the price for this?
Well, partially it's just to have another Greenwood in the world. As for the rest, I shall repay service, and I shall demand service and repayment for service. That is all. It's up to you how successful you make this. I am merely giving you the means. This does not seem fair. Aren't I an honest broker?
Of all the things you've said, that sounds positively the most pompous. But she takes the rose.
Good luck, Phoebe Greenwood of the Kingsport Greenwoods.
And to you, the Dark Lady of the Woods.
She's already gone.
Of course she is. I stride up the path, defiant and nonplussed.
Vrijeme. Up the path you go. Past the ruins of a rather stately, well-built Victorian house. Maybe not Victorian, pre-Victorian, colonial. And then beyond that is a rather ramshackle-looking house. And beyond that are hills. Some of them are actually bare of trees, which is unusual. And on those you can see the tiny, every now and then you see some standing stones picked out.
How close am I to this invisible something, roughly?
Pretty close. As a matter of fact, as you walk up the path, someone steps out of the house who's 7 feet tall if he's an inch.
I greet him in math.
Wait. You don't have to speak slower, my friend. I'm no great shakes yet with the Aklo.
This I can do! I say it slowly.
Yeah. Didn't follow all of that. But
more than most.
Tis true. You are not a human being. What can I do for you, not a human being? Why are you on my land?
My charge is Kingsport. There are intruders there that are somehow linked to here, and I am trying to understand the connection so I can deal with them.
been warned about your kind, not a human being. If you're here for my brother, then you and I are going to have some words. And don't think that I don't know some tricks with magic circles and enclosed spheres that would make thy life somewhat more difficult.
Are you planning to break time?
How can one break time?
Humans try.
I'll give thee a tiny secret, not a human. I also am not exactly a human.
The math makes that clear.
Now, if you'll be not here for me or my brother, but I'm merely passing through and wish to pay the professional courtesies, I would be minded to pour you a cup of something that would look like tea. And you and I could have many discussions about certain passages that I cannot translate for them Gentile scholars up at Miskatonic will not give to me that which belongeth to me. They have no rights to hold that Necronomicon.
They are the intruders. They break the equations.
Aye, those scholars. But if all you are here to ask about is them poor humans what came this way, well, I warned them I did. I tried to keep them away. For where they went was not for them. It were dangerous to their kind, and it's for my kind, I stay away from it. But they did not listen to me. No one listens to me because I'm so passing strange.
Can they understand that? To their eyes, do you not, you are taller, but do they see enough?
Much like you, I'm in the habit of keeping my strangeness concealed as best I can. Was this a mission you asked for, not a human?
I do not recall asking, but I looked at the equation I saw building in Kingsport then and did not like where it would go and how the equations would then balance in Kingsport. I think that means I choose it, yes?
I think you much like me. You're born into something that you do not want, perhaps do not desire, but have no choice. The fate of my brother depends on me. Did not ask for this life. I fear that my mother did not ask for it either. My father was a mean and vicious man and thought little for the thoughts of a poor girl that he had tortured from birth. Me, he lavished some attention on, and my brother even more.
You protect your own.
There's fundamental wrongness on all this land. Some of it is a human problem, some of it is the work of my father. He's a foolish man. Yet, none asked Wilbur before if he would be born, and none asked Wilbur before if he wanted to be as this. None asked Wilbur before if he wanted to see poor Lavinia die that way.
Then I ask, what can I do to help with what you want?
Ah, my dear, not a human. You know that this will play out the way it must play out.
Yes.
Those of us who must traffic with the congery of spheres are given some limited foresight. I know where I will be in August of 1928. I know what happens to my poor brother. There's no avoiding it.
Humans do a thing when they know they can do nothing else. I will try it, and I hug him.
That is passing strange and most human of you, not a human.
Does it help?
The only one ever hugged me was old Lavinia before she died. I don't know if she'd still hug me. She saw me like I am today. But if answers are what you seek, then the old Moore house. 'Tis good 4 or 5 miles across the woods, across the hills, past the standing stones. It's the kind of place that is not for humans, but it is of them, not of us.
Then I will go and look. And if I can, when what must happen happens, I will try to be with you at the end of that part of the equation.
Well, my dear hound, dogs are involved, as I'm sure you know.
Then I will go meet them. And
I would
since
not advise you to go to that house on thy own, not a human. It is a human place, and full of wily human tricks. To go without a human, I don't think you would be in danger, but I don't think you would accomplish much.
there is a human near, I know, but it would be dangerous for that human, right? But if I'm with her, I will go find her.
Very well. I wish you well, not a human.
Vrijeme is trying to find a mathematical way to reciprocate and cannot figure it out.
Yeah, they do that.
So, all right, let's check in on an Agnes. Pick an Agnes, any Agnes.
Okay, I remember now what original Agnes, the Darkest Self Agnes, was going to do. She was going to go back home and like either not close the loop, but like just see what happens. But I think I know what she's actually headed there to do, because she is how does it say here in the Darkest Self? She doesn't have any time for subtlety or patience. So she's gonna head back to her room. She's gonna give her mom like a kiss, so like a kiss in the cheek, like hi, I just got back from work, blah 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 blah. She's gonna go up to her room. Last timeline, she looked into the mirror to see what killed poor Liebnick. Then the mirror exploded in her face. This time, what she's gonna do is probably something even more stupid, honestly. She's gonna take that shard of the glass that she uses. She's gonna look at Vriema's time globe. She needs Vriema's perspective of time at the moment. So she's gonna take that shard of glass and she's gonna try to pry open the time globe.
Oh my god. What on earth has convinced you that this has even the smallest chance of working? I'm curious.
Honestly, mostly the fact that she's still breathing, which means she's still got an inch in the fight. That's mostly it, honestly. I don't know how she'd ever offer peace when she's hurt the most, but you know.
I'm going to ask you to roll to gaze into the abyss. Sure.
Yeah. What is it that I want? I'm looking for using hopefully this perspective I get from this time globe. I'm looking for like a perspective, i.e. a future, i.e. a timeline where I'm triumphant. Whatever that might mean. All right. Before a party does that thing, sometimes where it changes. That is an 11.
Okay. So nothing seems to happen at first, and then slowly you hear footsteps coming up the stairs. The door opens and your father is standing there, but he looks kind of confused. Then looks down, sees the time globe, looks at you, goes, please stop doing that. Closes the door behind you, like, I'm going to try and make this brief. What's your name,
Okay.
human child?
Oh, God, it's another one of you. It's Agnes. Have you not sussed that out?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is how you get closed time-like loops. Fine. You can call me, just call me Traveler. My people are observers. We move up and down the time stream. We like to see how things are going, figure out the best path forward, explore things. It's fascinating. If you had a mind that could contain this, it would be very interesting to you.
Okay, I get it. Let me guess. I don't have the mind for it because I'm a puny
No, I mean, you
ape,
seriously don't, because you're still a human entity, and we're post-human transtemporal entities. It's, I mean, duh. But it's not your fault. You're doing. I mean, look, we must have been like you. I mean, just between you and me. Don't tell the boss I said this, because he's kind of become the human affairs desk officer, and he is not happy about it. I am using a gender for him. It's more complicated than that, but don't worry about that now.
I assume. Why isn't he happy about it? Why are we, is the human race kicking up a fuss?
No, it's one of those things like, don't tell people that you're good at something because then they're going to make you do it all the time. Like, there are much more interesting places to visit in time than this narrow band of industrial human civilization, but he's been kind of stuck with it, so he's not happy about it.
Boo-hoo to your fucking boss. Like,
I don't disagree.
Okay, so apparently if I tampered with this time globe doohickey from Vrijeme, I get just some sassy human relations. Not even the officer, but like just their subordinate. Is that what I get?
No, you get a specialist. No, I mean, there's a couple of different ways this could go. I don't think I can take that from you unless they might find it in Peru. There is an alternate timeline where it's found in Peru in 1932. I don't know if we can get there from here, but maybe. But no, look, kid, you're screwing up the timeline. We noticed. Your friend Vrijeme noticed. Other people are gonna. Vrijeme, really?
I have to take it up with him.
I mean, it's like you literally could not pronounce his actual name. But it's mostly math. But look, you're inexperienced. You don't understand how these temporal things do. So let's talk, you and I. I'm doing you a favor here. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways this could go. You seem to have a pretty firm idea of what your timeline wants to look like. Well, we can talk. You do have a massive freaking problem. You were aware of this, right?
You're gonna have to clarify. I seem to have many
You duplicated yourself in the current timeline. That's not a good idea, kid.
Something will close eventually. That's how it is. Like a time loop opens up and it closes eventually. Unless I don't know.
This is why we don't use time machines. Even that thing could you please stop fiddling with that thing? That thing is a time machine.
I'm putting it down.
Thank you. I'm just going to breathe a lot easier if I'm not worried about the causality arrow flowing backwards unpredictably. Predictably, I can deal with. Unpredictably is a pain in the paperwork, can't even believe.
You poor thing. I'm weeping for you. Okay, what?
Wow. Okay, wow. Yeah, I came all the way from 65 million years ago to give you a hand. And you're just going to give me lip?
Okay. I didn't. Okay, I didn't. Okay, I didn't mean that. It's been a day and a half, or maybe it's been.
I mean, it's longer for you. So, look, you have one advantage, kid. You vanished during this period. So the fact that we have one Agnes here, we can work with that. Because, before, there was just a big gap, and that was a problem, too.
Okay.
Your main issue, of course. Oh, no, I'm saying, of course, you don't even know. The main issue is if you don't go back in another, what is it, about 18 and a half hours now? Well, what happens then, huh? Right? I mean, if you don't go back, then you can't be here now. You understand why we don't like paradox like this?
I don't even know where I went. I looked in the mirror. It apparently knocked me 24 hours into the future.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it did.
Which I didn't really sign for. And
no, but you did keep a time machine, a crystalline time machine under your bed. So I'm just saying.
Where else was I going to keep it? In the well? Okay, is there anything at least I can...
Sure, there's plenty of things we can do. Look, kid, you have to understand, as a transhuman transtemporal entity, every time we do anything, that creates a new timeline, right? Like, there's a lot of different versions of me. Now, that's just on the main tendencies in the current space-time curvature. So every now and then, we got to prune that out. Figure out what the best timeline is, and, we put a guardrail there, and that makes it kind of easy to course there.
Okay, so what determines the best timeline, then? What's your...
I'm not going to lie, it's best for us.
No, of course.
Well, I mean,
so basically, I just made a mess, and you're here to clean it up.
I'm here to help. Look, you show a high native aptitude for this sort of thing. That's a good thing. I mean, it can be a good thing. I mean, it could also be really, really bad for you. But I mean, it could be good for you. So I'm just saying, you've got a talent. So what do you want? You want a triumphant timeline. Was that what you were meditating on here?
Yes. If you want to be crass about it, yes. I want that. If that's what I thought, then yes, that's what I wanted. I want to get out of this situation, out of this town, hopefully with as much advantage as I can. I'm tired of having to simp to people who think they know better than I do.
Hey, do you have a notebook or something just so I can keep track of my thoughts?
Vrijeme gave me back that notebook, right? I think. Well, I'm not actually. I won't give that to him. It's full of my stuff. I have a spare one. I'll just toss him that in the pen.
Okay. So he starts writing some stuff down in symbols that you have no idea what they mean. Quick question: when you say you are triumphant, could that also be prime you? Because, technically speaking.
I know. It's fungible, isn't it? No, when I say me, I meant the me who did time travel, not the other me who I imagine is thinking this is all just some weird dream.
Second, would you care to go 65 million years in the past? We can do that through psychic transtemporality. I'm just putting that out as an offer. It would make tying this thing up in a bow a lot easier. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, sounds interesting.
We got a hell of a library, kid.
This is with string. Are any strings attached to this?
In this case, it sort of make healing up this time loop thing a little bit easier. But if you don't want to take it, that's totally okay. We'll figure something out. And I just thought I'd offer because we don't usually get visitors who are so high in volition for this job.
See, Agnes would be down for this. I'm just thinking this through. But my instinct is like to just ruin this because that's just my instinct. But
You're my darkest self. So
yeah, I'm still my darkest self. That seems easy, but I had a plan. There was a book I was gonna steal. 65 million years. There's what? Lizards? No, what the dinosaurs are like?
Sort of plant fungus animal hybrid cones, about 10 feet tall.
That doesn't sound that interesting, honestly.
They got lobster claws.
I eat them for... No, I don't eat them. We don't...
No, you wouldn't eat these. You'd be one of these.
Yeah, that's not enticing. No.
Really?
It's not at the moment. No.
They're 10 feet tall, and their mouth tentacles are such fine manipulations. It's amazing the stuff you can do with them.
No, I kind of want.
Really? Stick with this? Okay.
I want to know right now.
I don't know. It's all right. It's fine.
You got anything else?
I mean, we could send you to the future, but then you'd have to be about a 4-foot long beetle.
That's
hard pass.
That's also not really helpful.
I'm just saying, there's options on the table. That's all I was going to put out there. Okay, so it's got to be you. So we got to heal this timeline. Do you have any issues with the destruction of Agnes Prime?
If she was me, she'd know. Even though we're working together, we're not idiots. I tell her to do something, but I know she's probably doing something to undermine me. It's her or me, really.
Man, if I've seen this once, I've seen it. I mean, simultaneously over several quantum universes, but...
It's all right, I get it. The thing is, she'd get other people to do it. She doesn't have my perspective.
Wow, perspective, cool. Yeah, you're a frightening little thing, aren't you?
Among others, apparently.
Okay.
So what? Do I just have to? Do I have to do it myself?
Okay, remember how I said please stop using that thing?
I'm not even looking at it. I'm not even looking at it.
Let's say that I told you how to use it for one very particular thing. To erase Agnes Prime from the timeline.
When you say erase, do you mean just Agnes snaps her fingers, which I can't do? Just like that?
I mean, it's more complicated, but we'd handle cleanup. But it would have to be you. It just makes the math easier. Yeah, there's some other caveats. Your brain just, I'm sorry, There's only I don't mean I'm trying not to put you down. I'm just it's like technical limitations. Like if you said, can I shoot an eagle 2 miles away with a shotgun? I'd say no. You need a rifle. Well, your brain can't handle the hypergeometry that's required to do this no look from miles away, so you're gonna have to be able to see her. You have to be that close. If you can hear her, that's even better, because it'll work a lot easier. Basically, if you can just be like touching distance, that would be perfect.
I can do that. That's not that hard. Fine. If they'll correct this and get you off my back, make things cleaner. Fine.
Okay.
What do I need to do with that thing?
So, how's your ACLO?
No one's really tested me, so you tell me.
All right, I'll put a diagram in here too. So he just starts writing really, really fast in the notebook. Just fills it up with pages of characters, a couple diagrams. There's a picture of the shining trapezoidhedron, and like with little notes like "Do not touch here." Please hold from this side. Make sure that this side is pointing this direction at noon, or it gets complicated.
That'll be
There you
fine. I think Shake takes it a bit. All right, I can do that.
I mean, it's distinctly within the possibilities of your species, yes.
Yeah. You're not sticking around to observe.
Oh, hell no. No. I'm only doing this because I did this little job in 1962. Yeah. So now I'm like the next expert. I'm pretty sure my boss wants me to take over the job, but fat chance.
You're here right now.
Hey, I'm tasked to watch the sun go nova in 8 billion years, and that is not something you want to miss.
Maybe my petty, stupid domestic drama can stop distracting you now. Then,
yeah, that would be
Traveler.
great. If you can handle that for us, that'd be great.
Fine, I'll handle it. Just don't.
Just because if you don't, probably your friend is going to have to come after you sooner or later. And if that doesn't work, how much do you know about the key in the gate?
Enough to be interested, and
Well, then you're going to be fine. No problems. Don't worry about anything. It's going to be great.
When you say your friend's gonna have to come after you, you're gonna have to be more clear about that, because it seems like.
Oh yeah, right. You don't have any friends. Vrijeme.
I was about to say every friend I have is out to get me, but you're probably closer to the truth.
Whatever.
Okay, all right, okay. I think that's when Agnes will like turn her back to to her quote unquote dad and just start reading what she was given.
Okay, I'm gonna go put him downstairs because I'll try and lie on the couch, but it's not a precise science.
Yeah, just be gentle with him. Mom would throw a fit if he did something.
Yeah, we'll do what we can. Great talking with you, Agnes. There's about a 70% chance I'm going to talk to you again, so that's a thing.
Can't wait.
You have no choice.
I'm just not going to respond to that. Okay, no.
Miss Phoebe Greenwood. You go walking up the path, and you come in sight of a rather ordinary but large-looking colonial house with white clapboard, and it's well kept and very tidy. Much to your surprise, there's a telephone line that snakes up to the house. And while you're watching that, a girl comes walking around the side holding a big basket of laundry. that she's apparently just taken down from the line. She looks and goes, "Now who are you? Why you must be a Greenwood cousin."
Indeed. She strides forward, like rose clutched to her breast, and stops, a couple of feet away and says, "My name is Phoebe. Who are you?"
My name is Grace Greenwood.
Oh, I've she's about my age, or
Yeah, maybe just like a year or two older.
I never knew I had cousins who were around my age.
Well, we don't get along very much with our coastal cousins. They never come up to Dundytown, and we try never to go down to Kingsport.
Yes, that's what literally every single person in this town has reminded me since I got here.
I mean, our towns have been estranged ever since the colonists left from Kingsport and came here to Dundytown. Twere Greenwood that was in that,
Well, that is the shackles of the past, and I've thrown them off.
But how can you if you're a Greenwood? She looks genuinely puzzled.
I seem to get the feeling that being in Greenwood has saddled a lot of people with a lot of different responsibilities that they never necessarily asked for, and I thought it was just me.
Well, that's mostly the coastal family. Here, the Goodwin Greenwoods have thrived many a year. Very few of us leave, though occasionally. There was Captain Goodwin. She went down to Kingsport Town. Had strange things happen to her.
I remember something around that story. I lost a great uncle around the same time, I believe. Pure coincidence, I'm sure.
Probably not. A Greenwood and a Goodwin on the same ship. There are very few coincidences when it comes to Greenwoods, I think. But here am I, gabbing. I should bring you in.
Yes, I am rather parched.
Well then, come with us into the kitchen. We have water. We have some apple and cider, and if you'd like, we brew our own small beer.
Oh, whatever you have. You see, we came by horse and buggy, and it has been a long and dusty trip.
Oh, that's tradition.
And so she follows Grace into the coast, or the inland Greenwood house.
So there's two strapping young men standing by the stove, and she's like, "Oh, this is Griffin and Gregory. They are my brothers. This is Phoebe Greenwood from the coast." And I'm like, "Huh? Coastal Greenwood? We haven't seen one of yours in this town since Franklin."
Yes, everyone keeps reminding me of that as well.
Well, it wasn't a popular move, Franklin selling off so much of the old family land.
I understand that, but it benefited our family in numerous ways. We experienced a very prosperous time, and we have our own preparatory school now, and it was very beneficial.
Preparatory school? They look at each other like, a Greenwood school? Is that legal? Do they not have the laws against witchcraft still in Kingsport?
I will have you know that Greenwood Preparatory School is a very well-respected establishment in our part of the country. It's practically a straight ticket into Miskatonic University.
Oh, Miskatonic. The meddlers.
I don't know what that means, but I'm inclined to agree with you with recent experience.
Young Miss Phoebe, says Griffin, kind of leaning down a little condescendingly. There's knowledge that's held in our family that requires no books and has never been written down, for it belongs to us. 'Tis our heritage. It comes from our great ancestor, Fortune herself, of sainted memory.
I I think often of Fortune and the legacy that she bestowed upon our family, and the promise that I have yet to live up to. But what do you mean secrets? This isn't why I came here.
Well, why did you come here, young Phoebe Greenwood?
I trust that I may speak candidly amongst family.
Well, you're family, you're Greenwood.
She needs to keep her cool because she's afraid, because like her family is not supportive like this, and she doubts them.
This is fair.
Yep. So I'm going to use that +1 cold. And that's an 8.
So what is it? So you're afraid of what?
I'm afraid that they don't have my best intentions at heart, and that they are going to abuse me like my family does.
Okay. Your choice is to either open up here, or they'll take you to someone who knows things better.
As a player, I know the obvious choice, but the obvious choice is to throw myself into danger. But I think that Phoebe is so desperate for any kind of like recognition or acknowledgement that despite all of her doubts, she immediately launches into a story and explains that there are these strange investigators from the Miskatonic University, and they've come to our town, and they're asking a bunch of nosy questions, and Mumsy and Daddy won't pay attention to me when I try to warn them that something is going wrong. And it has all to do with that boy who died in that house.
Boy should never come to that house. Everybody knows not to go to that house. Every Greenwood knows. 'Tis our vow.
But what house? What happened? Do you know what happened to him?
To go so close to October to the Moore house would be a grave mistake.
Everyone consistently and constantly speaks in riddles about this. They speak as if this is all common knowledge and that I should just know better, and I don't know better.
How the Greenwoods have fallen in Kingsport town, says Gregory, if you do not remember your own history. Surely, even today in Kingsport, they must remember. And they all make the same sign simultaneously. The ghost of Ephraim Moore.
Is that... I remember the vaguest story once about a girl named Ephraim Moore who died because she was accused of witchcraft.
Ephraim was a good friend to our grave ancestor Fortune. She has stayed often. She haunts Kingsport. But her father, who threatened to go to England, his family did not. They moved further into the woods to be away from Kingsport town. And, well, there's a binding between the spirits and the remains of their descendants. That place is Ephra's and Ephra's alone. While there were Moors living in it, it was their problem. Now there are no Moors in it. falls upon us to guard it. If Aphra does not wish to be disturbed, then it is best wise not to disturb her. Some say that she holds some great secret there, or is protecting something or someone. But that is Aphra's affair, and it is not ours. We know better than to spite the spirit of Aphra more. The centuries have not weakened her, not one whit. If anything, she is stronger now.
You're telling me that Howard was killed by a ghost?
They'll look at each other like, yes.
This is 1927. We don't believe in ghosts.
Maybe they don't believe in ghosts down where you are or up in Miskatonic. But in Dunnytown, we know better. I mean, thou didst meet with someone in these woods, did thou not? For you have a token that tells us that you are a Greenwood who has received the favor of his eye.
If you mean that rather pompous lady I met in the forest, yes, we did converse, and yes, she did seem to know an awful lot about me, and my family and my history, in ways that are, in retrospect, impossible. In present spect, also impossible. But
yeah, when you say you met the lady, they all make a different sign.
She just flinches and she's like, oh, I feel like I'm in church. Oh my goodness. I've come here because I need to rid my town of these intruders. And also maybe some insectoid plague. But first things first. How do I get rid of the people who want to know what happened to Howard?
Thou lacks the power to do this?
I have heard the stories of the gifts of the Greenwoods, and she blinks and her eyes go golden. Aside from one particular talent, I seem to be under-equipped.
You have the staring curse. That undoubtedly comes from the other side of our heritage that we speak little of. The Greenwoods of Innsmouth are not our concern. They do not concern themselves with us. Well, so the question then becomes, needst thou a posse or needst thou a coven?
There are two forks in the roads. Gosh, I think it is only... Phoebe contemplates this for a moment and says, I would like to know more about my birthright.
Well then, and Gregory and Griffin and Grace all get a little nervous. Then you must ascend the large staircase and go to the very top of this house. There's a hall there. Follow it to the very last room, and you shall speak with great-grandmother.
Phoebe rises and kind of mousishly makes her way over to the staircase and begins to ascend.
Okay. So let's check in on Vrijeme.
Vrijeme was going back to try and find Phoebe.
Okay, so you're walking down that path through the hollow and you hear somebody chopping wood.
Well, since I'm trying to think like a normal human, obviously if I find this person chopping wood, they might have seen Phoebe.
This is entirely possible.
So I will follow the chopping sounds.
All right, so you come around and there's a guy with an axe. He's finishing up, cutting up a tree that he fell earlier. He turns around, kind of leans on the axe, and goes, "Well, stranger, what brings you to the hollow?"
There's another stranger with me. We are separated, and I describe Phoebe.
I've not seen anyone like the girl you describe.
Oh,
Why would she come this way? This is Greenwood land.
she wanted to know more about her family, Greenwood.
I cannot place your accent. Is she a coastal Greenwood or is she one of the woods?
Coastal.
I don't know what kind of reception she would get up there. I suppose we could go see if she has come. My name is Giles Greenwood.
Vrijeme Stani.
That's an interesting name, my friend.
So people say.
What I find interesting about it is it seems to me that it is something that you have memorized, which I find interesting.
People have names. I need a name, so I have a name.
That is the most puzzling response indeed. I am minded to wonder about whether 'tis cold iron or silver that thou art feared of, but be that as it may, all blessings will come to those who wait. So come with me. I shall take thee up to the house.
I follow.
All right. So you go into he like just waves for you to go into the parlor. The not the good parlor, but the other parlor.
I wouldn't know what to do if he took me to the good parlor. I've
know.
never been in a good parlor.
So an older woman bustles in. She's wearing a rather old-fashioned dress. Looks at you. I'm Gaitha Greenwood. What are you doing here?
I'm Vrijeme Stani. I came with a coastal Greenwood and am trying to go back to her.
There's something of the strange around you.
Yes, and yet this town, it is easier than Kingsport. You understand so much more here.
I am very curious as to what you are.
A guardian, but not of this place. This is not my place.
And if I were to lock you into a room with no corners, what would you say to that?
I would prefer that not to be.
Interesting. Find one of you standing up on your hind legs and talking like it's people.
I know I am not people. People threaten Kingsport. I came to find out what it is they are stumbling around and found that they should have known better, but I do not understand why they are then in Kingsport unless it is like human bullies who will find somebody weak because they know they have no chance against the strong.
Well, I'm not minded to mind Kingsport very much.
It is not your place. This is your place.
Well, the girl you seek is here. She's talking with grandmother. You may as well wait down here. I feign to do anything else with you. You'll watch the hospitality that we put you under.
I have no quarrel with this house or any in it.
We'll see about that. And she walks away. So, might as well check in with an Agnes, huh?
Yeah, let's check in with the one looking for the professor.
Agnes Prime.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see which one of these Agneses will level up first. It's a race between them. Agnes Prime, who is going off to the old church.
So yeah, you find yourself down by the Jonite temple, and you could see the Professor, Finn, and what the hell was his first name? Jack, gathered around their car, and they're having like a kind of loud discussion. And the professor's like, I don't understand why they wouldn't let us in. I just wanted to look at some documents. It's ridiculous religious exemption. And it's like, yeah, I don't like this whole situation, Prof. This is a little fishy.
Okay, so I hear that. And this is still Agnes. She's not as reckless as the other Agnes. But it's a bit too much to just walk up and be like, hey, I need I need help. You because she shared what Chloe said. They wouldn't trust her. So what this Agnes is going to do? So the church is closed, right?
Oh no, it's open. They're just not letting them in.
Okay, all right. Well, Agnes is going to walk in. Because she is of she's of Kingsport. So we'll walk in and see if anyone's there.
All right. So the Reverend Wilkins, who doesn't always come down, is actually kind of walking back with his cane. Like, come into my temple, tell me what to do. Curse upon all of them. They should know better. They would know better if they knew their place. And he kind of stiffens up. It's like, huh. What can I do for you, child of the land?
Reverend Wilkins, I was here looking for those outsiders, and I was just wondering what sort of fuss have they been kicking up here?
They would fain look at our books, the heritage of our people. No, it is not to be allowed. It is not for the likes of them. 'Tis only for our kind, by which I mean those who follow the tenets of our faith, of course. Absolutely nothing else.
Of course, absolutely nothing else. Of course, I understand they are quite brutish in their methods. I've talked to some of them, and well, one of them did wave a gun at me, and they don't seem to be in a hurry to leave until they're given what they need, what they want.
It is not good that they are here. I don't like it when when people come down from Miskatonic and attempt to. Yeah, in the old days, this would be much easier.
And
are you a historian, girl? Do you know of what I'm talking? It seems to me you wish them gone as well.
They are an irritant. and I would wish them off their merry way. I was born in Kingsport. I grew up in Kingsport. So it would take someone truly blinkered to not know of what you speak.
Those were the days. A quick garroting in an alley, drag them under the waves, and let them who are there take care of them. Thou seekest our secret, likest thou what thou found. But we are fallen in our stature these days.
I'm sorry to hear that.
These past 150 years we've needed the help of people like unto thee to do some of our rituals.
Well, if you are willing, I perhaps in some way we can bring some old glories back. We'll perhaps just need to drive some of these irritants away. I've been trying to figure out how. If it's possible, good sir, if I can have not what they seek, but merely a sliver, enough to get them interested in me, and I can draw them away and hopefully satisfy whatever they want, and Kingsport can be peaceful again.
Yeah, I have lived here quite some time, child of the land, and peaceful is something exceedingly rare in this town.
For certain semblance of peaceful.
They sought our ancient records. They sought our books of scripture, for they would consider them books of magic.
Agnes would consider the books of magic either, but she doesn't say that. Then let me see a scripture enough to whet their appetites, and I promise that I can lead them away.
That is a mighty ask, child of the land. What is thy name?
Miss Murphy, sir, and I tend not to shy away from what seems mighty.
We have not had a witch on ours who has been gentle with us, not since poor Phoebe Greenwood.
Her eyes flicker at that, like, wait. Not different, must be a different Phoebe. Well, I suppose that may be the first in quite some time. If I have to roll something, I'll roll it.
He's just pondering what to give you. All right then. They asked many questions about those dark days. I can give you a page of our account of the truth of the trials of October 1692. Not the whole truth. Hey, to be honest, I barely remember it at this point. What the truth actually was, I mean, from reading it.
Yeah, I understand. It was written by someone who may or may not have passed down from generations. Who knows what's happened since?
Yes.
Who knows what actually happened? The people outside, they see something written down. They seem to think it's gospel.
The truth is that none of those 4 girls were hung as witch. I know, 'tis the tradition, and they celebrate it with the bonfire, which is when one thinks about it, tis an absolutely poor taste. But yet, 'tis the tradition on the common to have the bonfire. All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
yeah.
Hey.
I don't know what else we've seen other than Agnes is gonna wait for that piece
Yeah,
of it.
no, he comes back with a package, a little sheath of vellum paper tied up in a green ribbon. And it's like the first page is like a historical and true accounting of the events of the trials in the Commonwealth in the province of Massachusetts. With all the old spelling, so there's K's in there and the long S.
Yeah, I think Agnes gonna take a peek. I think just to see like some names. So like,
It's written by Obed Pembleton.
Yeah, I think Agnes will like take them and like just carefully. And she brought like, no, she's still in her apron. This is still post got off work, Agnes. But like she'll keep it like under her apron. It's like I'll have them back in the morning. This I promise.
See that thou do. It would be a shame for our friendship to so immediately be betrayed.
I'm finding that my taste for betrayal grows thinner by the day.
Well, go, girl. I'm missing an appointment with a salt bath.
I won't keep you from that.
You shan't. No, 'tis true.
Yeah. So Agnes is gonna walk out of the church and we'll make like a beeline for them three. Our
So
Call
as
of
you walk
Cthulhu
up, Jack's
characters.
like, what I'm saying is, if we get in there in the middle of the night, if we run into any trouble, I can take him, Prof. I can take him. I took care of those guys. I took care of those guys when we were in that club in Harlem. And, and then the less that we say about Roxbury, but, I had your back.
Is that all you know how to do? Beat people up?
Yeah, that weird girl. What happened to your face?
I had an encounter with another weird girl. This town is full of them.
What do you want, weird girl? And the professor's like, please don't talk to her that way. I'm sorry, young miss. You'll have to excuse Mr. Wrigley. He's excitable. He's excitable. How can I help you, my dear?
You're... Sorry, I just got a message. Let me close this. You're Professor... Oh, I'm in the wrong character sheet. What's his name? Professor Dabney. Heard a lot about you recently. He came to Kingsport to investigate a mysterious death.
Yes. He was a student at Miskatonic and recently went to the Pembleton Academy, and we thought we would investigate. In his memory, he was very, very close with Finn, and I considered him one of my better students.
Yes, he left an impression in the Greenwood school. Well, I don't know if I can say that I know what happened to him, but I do know of something weird happening in town. And I might need your help.
Well, that's interesting. as you know, as a professor of comparative philology, there's an ethnographic component of that, so I'm always interested in hearing folk tales.
This Professor, this is no folktale. This is something that happened to me not even a few hours ago. Not even time is getting weird. It's they must have told you what I can do. Your friends.
Oh, you're that young lady. You're Agnes Murphy, yes. Yes, Miss Bonton and Mr. Wrigley apprised me of that information. I'm very curious about it, to be honest. One hears of such things, especially if one hangs around the library after hours. But, you know, Henry is very talkative.
Oh, if you're used to hearing things, maybe you care to witness.
Oh, well, no, I'm not so sure about that based on what Miss Bonton had to say.
No, I'm not. I didn't mean like that. No, I didn't mean like that. It's just, I know I dabbled in weird stuff. What you call crossing the line, probably. I guess I admit it. You cross the line, you don't know what crosses back with you. Hour ago, I was attacked by myself. Not in a metaphorical sense, in a literal sense.
Some sort of fit?
No, it was it was myself. She was flesh and blood and possessed of what I know, and yet she claimed to be a day ahead of me, a day into the future, and yet she's come back for some reason.
Well, I imagine you've had a difficult time convincing anybody of that.
Well, the only person I've tried is your friend, Miss Bonton. She seemed... I don't know if she got it, most of it. But she did send me to you, so I assumed you'd understand.
We haven't had a chance to talk with Miss Bonton because it's only, he looks at his watch, it's only about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so she's really not at her best yet.
Of course. I'm just saying that I don't know what I did, but it caused this fork, this temporal loop. And I assume you're smart enough to know what that means.
Well, I would say that this is all absurd, except my friend Henry did ask me to look at certain ancient, very ancient texts, including one that's in some kind of bizarre, mad dialect of Arabic. I would not presuppose that such things are completely impossible, no. But given the damage that you almost did to Miss Bonton... Well, I'll put it to you this way, dear girl. You might have no trouble convincing me, and I'm sure that Finn would follow along with my good judgment. Finn's like... But I'm afraid you'll have to convince Mr. Wrigley, since he takes our safety to be his goal in life. He's a good man, if a little excitable. Between you and me, it was the war.
That makes more sense. I don't know why I feel like an NPC quest giver right now.
These are technically the NPCs in this story.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I can say to Mr. Wrigley other than if he does what he's proposing, it would be quite redundant because I didn't just come here with just my words. I do have a show of like good faith, and she kind of like shows from like under her apron. She has like the pieces of like this scripture. It's not yours to keep; it's yours to read until.
My dear girl, now you put yourself in quite some risk if some of what I've been told about these Jonites is true, but I mean, that seems impossible. Still, there was an air of menace. The preacher was a most odd man. I appreciate this. It's definitely a sign of good faith.
Well, this is keeping this for myself for now until you find the other me. And well, let's just say I have no qualms with what you want to do with her. She has approximately everything that I know with an added 24 hours on that.
I see. Well, perhaps you'd best come with us then.
I know where she'll be later in the day.
Well, we can provide a certain amount of protection. Mr. Wrigley can spend the night at the Central Hotel, and you may stay with Miss Bonton, who is more capable than she gives off, I think.
I think I get that. That seems. I think like there's this moment where like Agnes's bravado kind of like shifts a bit, and you can see like she's. You know, you got a bit of that sad girl. Sure, why not? She made a mess of it, and she doesn't even know who she didn't even do it, or technically she did. Another her did. That doesn't matter. I think like her shoulders can like sag a bit, and she's kind of like almost like hugging like the scriptures to herself, because that's like her big bargain chip. That sounds agreeable. Miss Bottom's good company, I guess.
Yes, she's high-spirited.
I could do with some high spirits.
Well, she generally has a lot of spirits around her, that's for certain. My dear girl, I'm glad we are mistaken about at least one of you.
Well, I guess I'm glad that one person is me.
Phoebe Greenwood. You open the door at the end of the hallway, and the room inside is very dark. It's not a big room, but there's a huge 4-poster bed that dominates most of the room, and in front of that, a little wooden chair.
I creep closer to the bed and peer in to see who might be lying there.
So behind you, the door slams shut. Lying in the bed is an ancient woman. You don't really know how old, but she is quite elderly. And she's propped up on a bunch of pillows. She looks at you with like very roomy eyes. Like, I'm afraid you're going to have to sit closer, girl. I can't really make you out there. I'd bring more light, but it's not good for my eyes at this late stage.
Of course. And very haltingly, she settles into the chair next to the bed.
Well, what's your name, young Greenwood?
I'm Phoebe.
She looks kind of sad and far away. I knew a Phoebe Greenwood. She was sweet.
I was named after her.
Them downstairs will tell you that she was no witch, but I think if there were more Greenwoods like Phoebe Greenwood, we would have been a happier crew. Greenwoods who had just concentrated on the mending of broken things, and the happiness of living creatures. But that's not often been our fate. My manners are lacking, for I'm old. My name is Faith Greenwood.
Faith, it's a pleasure to meet you.
What has brought you all the way from the coast, Phoebe Greenwood of Kingsport town?
I had a purpose. I set out with a purpose. I came here with a purpose. I waved around my purpose all the way up the stairs. But I don't care what happened to that boy. I don't care what those people in my town do. All I seem to hear about is that there is more that I could be doing, that I should be doing. And no one seems to want to explain it to me. My parents think I'm only useful as a bargaining chip towards a prosperous marriage, and everyone here talks as if my having grown up on the coast is some just death sentence of never truly being able to understand anything. They all know so much, and I'll never be able to learn it. And yet I want to learn, and I want to understand, and I want to know. I want to know.
You have the Greenwood about you, that is true. That has ever been our fate, the wanting to know and to excel, especially the women folk of our clan.
They told me I should come up here and talk to you.
I am the oldest living Greenwood.
How old are you?
Well, now it's difficult for me to reckon, and we did not keep a strict tally of the years in our Bible. But I do remember sending our boys down to Mexico, and then sending our boys off to fight in the South. And the war was Spanish. A lot of wars. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say I was born somewhere around 1819.
You have certainly seen a lot of wars.
I've seen a lot. Our family is not what it once was. Here in Dunnytown, we are safe and happy, for the most part, but only by hiding here, which ever was the purpose of Dunwich Town. The real Dunwich Town, not the little thing that we put up down there for the Gentiles to come and see.
Everyone keeps saying that too, how far the Greenwoods have fallen. What can I do? What can any of us do to pick ourselves back up then? Is there anything that I can do?
Fallen, perhaps, is not quite the word. Think of it more as we have come to crossroads. We are as we were, ever were. The Greenwoods, Dunwich, we have become mingled. They say not. They downstairs, for they are foolish and youthful. They will say that we are weakened now, and we have, or that the coastals have lost the pureness of the Greenwood line and have become lesser and mixed. But truth be told, the Goodwins and the Greenwoods are so intermarried that I I expect that Gregory downstairs finds he must shave more every full moon. Well, Kingsport could have been a strength for us. And Kingsport is the place where all the paths cross, where all the peoples mix. But what you cannot be in Kingsport is distinct. The people of the waves have learned this. The more they cling to their salt ways, the less they are able to change. So, Phoebe Greenwood, who looks up to a matriarch of your family that is not even a Greenwood, what shall the Greenwoods become in this 20th century of calamity? Always we have been what we are. Vengeful, spiteful, quick to anger, seeking power, cold, bending others to our will when we can, running away when we could not. Whatever else they say about Fortune, and Fortune was a powerful witch and beloved of many. Fortune only came to Kingsport because she ran, and she only came to Dunwich because she ran again. You came here because them's meddling from Miskatonic brought their foreign ways to Kingsport, seeking to discover all that's hid there. Of course, it would take a team of them scholars years to uncover all that's hid in Kingsport, but there's much there that not even the Kingsporters know about. But if you've come to stop them, then you have already begun to make a stand, have you not, girl?
I don't want to just stand in one place. If all the Greenwoods do is stand here, stand there. If all of Kingsport just stands and lets the waves constantly lap it away, then the only thing that the Greenwoods can do is to step forward.
It's not generally been our way to lead from the front.
Well, as my father likes to remind me, I'm very atypical of a Greenwood.
How atypical do you wish to be, girl?
I don't know, but I intend to find out.
Every generation since Fortune stepped off that boat onto this new world, one Greenwood, at least, has gone into the woods and has signed his book. Save for Finch. Finch only because he gave his to a different power. They say that when a generation has come and no one signs his book, then our destiny will be our own. Though it may break our power too. I don't know. How much is what we have and how much is just the residue of our ambition and our willingness to do anything for it? I can't answer these questions. My time is almost done. There'll soon need to be more leadership. Gaitha is good and will tend the Dunwich family well. But she is not what we need to lead the family forward. I don't think it was accident that brought you to Dunwich Town or to this room, Phoebe Greenwood.
Dear Faith, I do not mean to exhaust you. You've given me a lot to think about. And you've given me everything I think I need. I will leave you now to rest, and I will thank your family for their hospitality, but I must get back to Kingsport.
Collect your friend downstairs. Yeah, I can feel his eyes on me.
He does have that way about him.
Farewell, Phoebe Greenwood. I'm happy that I met you before the end.
Scene.
So I guess we have some sort of finale next time. I don't know. We got something going. That was fun. Thank you, guys. So we'll wind this up next week. And figure something out. But it will be good. And I guess until then, please everyone be well, stay safe, and we'll all keep muddling forward because I looked into the options. That's about the best one. So take care. I love New England, but the struggle is real.
It's a person. That means that.
I didn't say that. I just said it's localized and it moves sometimes. Person is a loaded word. And that's something I can knock off my bucket list. Played Wilbur and Noah Watley.
That motherfucker again.
Not that motherfucker. Well, yeah, actually. Wait a minute.
Alas for the awful sea.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't K. K was his boss.
That was his boss. Yeah, okay, I was trying. This is a different one. Oh yeah, this is a different motherfucker.
I can't remember the name of the little girl archivist that you befriended there, but
Oh yeah, that
Moira
died with me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sort of.
No, there was a curse that meant that she was gonna.
That's right.
Leave.
Yeah.
So she did die. Yeah, so
That's a shame.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys almost made it out. Almost.
I know. My character wanted to stay there anyway. This is a different game.
Right, yeah. Just hang on a sec while I pull up my behind the name page.
I think Agnes like thinking like, well, okay, hopefully that's not going to be her fate. Whatever happens tonight. I genuinely don't know which Agnes is going to come out of this. So
never know. Could be both.
Neither.
Me and my paradox.